What's up? It's Arnold Taylor, CEO at CMG. I just jumped off the porch with Dirty Club Bastard.
No, I might be next to bro. Still trying to up the score. Ain't let us sit with kid the dough. Got money on the floor. Grill like.
All right, so we got Arnold Taylor, South Coast Music Group, jumping off the porch with us. What's up today, brother?
What's up? What's up? What's up? Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Definitely a pleasure having you on the porch. Feel like it's been long overdue. You know, you've been doing a lot of major things in the music industry, and so it's, you know, just great to have you here to be able to share some light, you know, and give you your flowers, as well as, you know, you to be able to share some game, you know, to our audience in terms of, you know, the behind the scenes of the industry and things like that.
Nah, I appreciate it, bro. You know, it's always good to get them flowers early.
Yeah, for sure, man. You know, we gotta give people their flowers, man. Like, you know, while it's present, while everything is happening, and not waiting until it's like a legacy type of situation, man.
Facts. You've been down from day one, so I mean, you know, anything you need from me from day one, we've been rocking. So yeah, I always gonna come back to the original mom and pop.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, most definitely. So all right, man, let's get started, man. 22 years of experience in the music industry.
Right.
Man, can you tell us about that? Like where you even got started?
Man, geez, you know how much time you got? I'm what you call a real OG, you know what I mean? So, but I take that in pride, you know? It's like, for me, man, it's 22 years. I thought it was longer than that, you know, because of me starting from record store when I was in high school. Out of high school, you know, I worked with my godfather at a record store, Shazada Musics. Shout out to Jack Gordon too. He passed away just recently, you know, but gave me a lot of insight on how to build structure. A street kid from, you know, from Charlotte and you know, ties to Miami. Just had a structure being built, but I got into the game just by doing retail, man, and from music, you know, into a record pool. Okay. So from street teams, record pools to retail, that's really what was popping at back in those days. It wasn't like now, you know what I mean? So I started, man, like young in the game, bro. So I've done every single thing you can do in the game, like from all aspects to get here to a label, you know?
Okay. And you from Charlotte, North Carolina?
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Right. And I know you wear that with pride. That's a badge of honor.
Nah. And listen, man, my pop's from Miami, my mom's from Charlotte, but Miami was always my second home. You know what I mean? So me, I rep Carolina like Brooklyn cats, Harlem, you know, and Queens rep New York. You know what I mean? 'Cause I think at the end of the day, you know, I've always stayed in my crib. Even when I moved to New York and LA and everywhere else, it was always like, I'm the guy from the Carolinas. You know what I mean? And I didn't even say Charlotte. You're not from Charlotte. I would say I'm the guy from the Carolina because, to me, I wanted to tie the whole Carolinas into it because it was like a melting pot of cousins all together, from Charlotte to Raleigh to Greensboro to Fayetteville to South Carolina, which is Columbia, Charleston, and Greenville. So I rep Carolina. I can't do nothing in Miami. You know what I mean? Miami's in Miami, you know? But we got some plans on going back and doing some stuff. But to me, Carolina is what I've been repping from day one. Even in New York, man, from breaking records, that melting pot would always transcend to other places. So I stay true to where I'm from. Okay.
And can you tell us what it was like growing up in Charlotte?
You know, for me, it was slow, bro, because it was fun. You know, Charlotte's an amazing place. You know, when I was younger, I think it was probably a little bit too slow for me because I've always had a fast mentality. I talk fast, I move fast. You know, I ain't the regular, like, you know, melodic or dragging out, you know, kids in the South. You know, not that we're not intelligent, because we are, but I think that it was just the way I was moving, bro. I always had a real East Coast vibe. I always, you know, could go deal with a cat from anywhere and relate, black or white, whatever, it didn't really matter. So I think that it was slower for me from before because I was just so eager and ready to go. My mom would tell you, I was the kid that was, you know, I'm gonna be successful at 7 years old. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Crazy ideas, entrepreneur-wise. Not even thinking about the music business, you know. So I think for me, man, Carolina is the place, one, that saved my life, but it was a little slow for me back in the days, but I grew up and I grew into the city and I realized there was a void in the city. So my plan was not to be a small fish in a big city, even though I was gonna play with the big city, was to take over my market and really put an imprint on my market.
Okay. And what kind of kid were you? Like, were you in the sports? Were you more like in the books? Like, what was your vibe?
And then I hoop. I still got the J, you know. You know, everybody talk about their stories in Blacks and all this and that. And I played high school, you know, and I probably should have played college, you know. But I mean, you know, I'm 6 feet on a good day. I might have been 140 pounds back then, you know what I mean? So I was, at some point you gotta realize, like, sports kept me out of trouble from my brother, my older brother, like keep me in sports all throughout my childhood, to keep me out of trouble, keep me out of the streets, you know, but basketball and sports in our community is really just a way of life and a way to get out of your environment, just to, you know, get that coaching and get that love and family that people don't even realize how much sports has done for me just in this business right here, you know. So I think that playing sports was very, 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 like, you know, instrumental in my life. But yeah, I hooped, man. I hooped, and I thought I was going pro, but you know, who don't, right?
Right. Yeah, I think when we coming up, we all think we gonna make it to the league, or we gonna rap or sing or something like that. We all.
Nah, real talk. I never wanted to be an artist, so for me, it was just like, I'm a true Gemini, you know what I mean? So May 22nd, you guys want to see my birthday gift. But I think I'm just big on challenging myself. You know what I mean? I was gonna make the team. It didn't matter if it was 7 guys out there, I'm making the team. You know what I mean? My challenge was a challenge a guy his size, you know what I mean? Or go crazy, because me, it's just the determination of accomplishing something that I never accomplished before. That's been my mindset from day one, you know. So, but I also knew, like, I ain't that good to go no further than this, though. You know what I mean? I can get a scholarship, but how far am I gonna take it? So at some point you got to realize, well, this is fun, and this got me to this point, but now it's time to do something else, you know. And that's what I did. Okay.
At what age did you jump off the porch?
Oh man, I've been off the porch all day. And all night. You know, my whole life I've been off the porch, you know what I mean? That's my mom, you know. I think for me, you know, off the porch for me is I got one chain tucked in, I got one chain tucked out. You know what I mean? Because I can go corporate, I can go with the hoodest dude in the world, you know what I mean? And I'm comfortable in my own skin. That's what off the porch is for me, because I can go back on the porch too, you know what I mean, and button it up. But I say I've been off the porch my whole life is because I've always lived in uncomfortness. I've never ever stayed comfortable. I work better when I'm uncomfortable. Most people in the world don't like being uncomfortable. I like being comfortable in my life, my personal life. But when it comes to business, I like staying uncomfortable. Because I think it keeps your drive and it keeps you from not being complacent and jaded. So I've been on the porch. I jump back on the porch, but the two people, Gemini, one is off the porch and one's on the porch.
All right, so jumping back into the music, we know you're the founder of South Coast Music Group. Now, I think I heard somewhere that that actually started out as a marketing company, right?
Yeah, it did. That's what it was. You know, the record pool was Taylor Record Pool, and then I started South Coast Music Group.
And I don't mean to interrupt you, but can you explain for the people that don't know exactly what a record pool is? Because I believe that's a term that people might not even be up on.
Age myself. You know, what a record pool is, it's like if you're a DJ in the city, you're gonna get the latest, hottest vinyl from me. Vinyl meaning the old school, like not 45, but really 12-inch vinyl. That's what DJs had back in the days before all this digital, era came about. But instead of you going to the store, you would join a record pool, which is like a disc jockey club. You would pay me a certain amount of money down, a certain amount of money per month. Shit, I was killing them. I think I was getting $150 down, $85 a month. I had like 150 DJs. couldn't tell me I wasn't killing it, you know what I mean? So, and I had a record store, so the labels would send me the vinyl for free. I would have to send them my charts and tell them how the songs were doing. That's how much respect they had for record pools. Artists came, we did meet and greets. So it was if you was a DJ, I would deliver your music every first of the month. You had the latest, hottest music, and whatever I didn't get, I had the store, so I could also order stuff as well. So I came in the game killing it because there was 2 stores. It was 2 record pools, one in Raleigh, one in Columbia. And they was, a little older than me, so they pretty much had a lock on the Carolinas because nobody even knew the Carolinas. Thing about the Carolinas that I want to veer off is that it's 2 different. People don't know what's the difference between North and South Carolina. That's why I always say the Carolinas, because people say Charlotte and North or Charlotte and South. But the New York cats, that's why people say North Carolina. You from North Carolina, not from Charlotte. I always correct them, you know what I mean? Because a cat from Raleigh, cat from Fayetteville, where J. Cole's from, cat from Greensboro, went to Salem. You can't say you from, Atlanta, you gotta claim your territory sometimes, or you can't say, you're from Georgia, because you can be from Macon.
Right.
So to me, long story short, it was really just making sure that people knew about what the Carolinas was and what, it represented. Because a lot of people didn't identify the Carolinas as Charlotte in different places. So I used to always show them I'm from the Carolinas.
Okay. So did the record stores then and the record pool then transition you into working at the labels, or was that all sort of simultaneous? Like, how did that come about, you getting into the label world?
Really a little bit of both. The record pool to me was the transcend into promotions, marketing, because I mean one day I was servicing DJs in my record pool that was on the radio. So they were playing records for me. People would call from the label and be like, yo, can you get some DJ Easy Ice to play a song for you? And Easy was my guy. He was the main mixer at Power 98 in Charlotte. So I would get him to play songs, right? And not realizing that like I was doing promotions and marketing, getting these guys to play records for me. I can get paid for this. I can get paid for actually doing promotions and marketing. You know what I mean? It's a service. So I was like, damn, shit. And one of my and somebody from a label called me one day and was like, man, can you do send me an invoice? So and so played the record, whatever. You send me an invoice so you can get paid. You know what I mean? I'm like, invoice? What the hell is that? I'd never heard of it before. I just didn't know. So I think that to me it was just like, I act like I knew on the phone obviously, but then I called my guy, yo, you asked for an invoice. Yo, what's up with that? So he told me how to do it, and I realized like, wow, I can make money servicing radio as well. You know what I mean? So I just got into the marketing side because I was always intrigued on the concept of how to break an artist or a song or product or whatever. So the marketing was more intriguing to me because I like the challenge. You know what I mean? So the record pool started South Coast Marketing. Okay. And South Coast Marketing was bigger than South Coast Music Group at the time. It's been, up until 5 years ago, it was bigger than South Coast Music Group. But I just, from radio, the digital marketing, the street team campaigns, I was doing it all because I knew the record pool wasn't gonna last forever, and I knew it would go into something else. So I'm always like to be ahead of the curve, and that's when the marketing starts.
Okay. And so what was the first record label that you actually worked with?
Oh, man. Paris Johnson. Paris Johnson was the rep for Columbia. He was living in Atlanta, and he was the rep, in the Carolinas. He used to always come to the city and have me get DJs together for him because I had the pool, and I show him around. I show all the reps around. I just knew the city. So he got a job at Death Row when Death Row was about to end, and no program director would talk to me because I'm just this kid from the streets, and you know what I mean? It's like nobody wasn't really like, back in them days, man, the PDs had on suits, they was debonair. It was like college professors, almost like. I'm like, man, shit, I might have had them teeth in my mouth at that point. I don't know what's going on, I might have been tricked there all the way, but I was like, they could tell I was a good kid, but it was hard to get in. So when I talked to them about music, they wouldn't really talk to me. The DJs would, but not the program directors. Long story short, he gave me an independent regional job for Death Row on his last leg. It was kind of like phasing out, but he was going to Blacc Zacc.
Okay.
So Blacc Zacc is where I really officially got my first job. With, you know, we had Aaliyah, we had Timbaland, we had Tank, we had Missy, Genuine. It was the best job I've ever had to this day. Barry Hankinson, her uncle, shout out to Barry Hankinson and Tim. You know, that was my first job, and that's actually probably when South Coast Music Group started, even though I didn't start the label because I was still wanting to learn the game. Because at Blacc Zacc I did Nick Show and everything. I was the youngest guy there. Moved to New York, moved to LA, but I was in the studio with Timbaland a lot. And this way, in this day, man, Timbaland is super close, still friends. He's still like, I got my ears from him. You know what I mean? Like he'd been in the studio talking about, hey man, you know, you hear that, you know, they're not in the pocket. I'm like, what is this guy talking about? But eventually after being there sun up to sundown, I realized like, damn, now I know what the pocket is, you know? And I use that term to this day to the artist because he was so far ahead of his time. From being with Pharrell and being with Devontae from Jodeci, he was just a different type of producer. To this day, he can make a track for anybody. So I got my ears from him, but Blacc Zacc was my first gig, and then I stayed there for a while, man. I just loved it. I just loved the label. And Parrish was my guy, Jackson Brown. But I like the independent of it. I could talk to Barry Hankinson, the owner. I was with, you know, Aaliyah, with Timbaland, with Tank, right with the artist, and I felt like it was a family. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like a major label where you just like, nobody really wanted to hear you speak on a conference call. They may ask you a question, but they really don't want you to say nothing. Over there, if you say something, that single may be out next week, so you better know what you're talking about, you know? So, long story short, that was my first gig, and probably what made me want to have the label, because I was like an A&R promotions mix show guy, and that's the first time I had ever really did that side, you know? So,
how important is it to have that close relationship, and you know, with the artist and with, you know, the other members of your team? I mean, because you've worked in both types of situations, from an indie type of label, and then you've also worked for some of the major conglomerates as well.
No doubt. I mean, I left Blacc Zacc, started working for Interscope. But Def Jam was my next job. And to me, I never really wanted to work for a major. Before I get to that, I'll tell you the story. Pretty much what I knew being independent, sometimes, because I still had my record pool and marketing company at the time, but I knew the name Def Jam was just powerful at the time. So I knew attaching my name to that label and going inside and learning from like the Russells and the Kevin Lyles, and Benny Pugh brought me over. And to me, it was just like a great look, but I had to realize like, wow, I'm in a house that's already been built. So what I took from Def Jam is the way I try to brand South Coast Music Group, SCMG. You know, because I was Arnold Taylor from Def Jam for like 12 years, bro. After I left Def Jam, I was Arnold Taylor from Def Jam. In the club, they give me bottles the whole nine. I've never seen an imprint so powerful that they didn't care if the artist was with me at the club. I come in the club and they shot me out and playing songs. It'll never happen again, you know what I mean? So, and from there I went on to work obviously for Interscope and Republic, and my last job was at Epic. But I probably stayed working for labels longer because to me I realized that it was important to really learn the game fully before I started my label, and I went to marketing just so I can know how to break a song. But to answer your question, before I went all the way around, to me I feel like, you know, I'm close to my artists and I'm hands-on with my artists because I see a lot of CEOs and they act like bosses, and they are bosses, but to me, nobody want to do the small work. You know, I signed Baby 7 years ago, and we was in the car I was driving, you know, on the whack planes in a whack car the whole nine, you know, and I still do that to this day. I treat my younger artists and my newer artists the same way I treat my superstars. You know, I'm just a hands-on person. Because the minute you're an OG and you ain't in it, you might as well get out of the shit. You know what I mean? Because now I'm not adding that to the culture. And then my ears is changing because I'm at home or I'm in, some fancy ass place or out of the country and seeing the world and living in my big ass house and driving cars. It's easy to get jaded, but when I need to go hear like who's the next hot artist, I need to be in that. So to me, all of my artists I'm close to, bro. I'm close to their moms. I talk to their parents. I won't sign a deal without talking to artist parents. Because I can always talk to their parents. I'm dealing with kids. So I'm dealing with kids. I have to realize it ain't just about the music business. It's about their mental. It's about helping them become more financial. You know what I mean? Because we are from the streets, bro. At the end of the day, if I don't help you become a better man, then the hell with the rap business, the hell with the music business. You know what I mean? It don't mean nothing to me. So I think it's bigger than just having a label. I'm super hands-on. I'm super like tied into my artists, and I still do the little things, which are big things to me.
Yeah. No, that's super important because, I won't mention any names, but, we see some of these artists, some of these legacy artists that come out now 15, 20 years later, and they're saying that, the CEO of their label made them sign a botched deal. And now, 15, 20 years down the line, when they don't, have their masters or they don't, own anything and didn't understand the contracts they were signing back then, they just took the $10,000 that might have been right there handed to them, or whatever it may be. So that's just super important, like what you said, like making sure that you're like really establishing those relationships with these artists, because I mean a lot of us are from the streets, like never had a real job before, never signed a real contract before, things like that. So
that's important. It's important, man. Like me, my contract is super fair. You got a show and it's tight, I don't want no commission. You know what I'm saying? The managers, we stand down, because some artists, you act as managers as well. I think a lot of times, man, we forget, like, I'm long term. I'm really long term. I never signed an artist from any type of viral movement or any type of gimmicks. I build an artist organically from scratch. So once you do that, once you play with an artist from the streets or an artist from a certain area that where we come from, it's different in our hood than it is in the suburbs.
Right.
I can't play with you. I can't give you a deal and take you out the hood, give you this big song, give you money, give you a horrible deal, drop you back off in the hood because your career didn't make it. I left you worse off than you started. You got what I mean? What, you gonna go work for Chick-fil-A and McDonald's? You can't do no shit like that, So to me, we upheld like the me and Gotti and the P's, which is, those are the two guys that I probably respect the most. QC and CMG, just because I just feel like, we have a lot in common. You know what I mean? Two, it's just like, if I don't teach you how to be mentally strong for this business and financially strong and pay your house off when the money coming in and okay, it's cool to get a car, it's cool to get some jewelry, it's cool to get things you never had, but save this for a rainy day, invest your money into some things you want to invest it into, take care of your mama. We're gonna do that, we Black. We Black, but I think that the label is different because what goes around comes around, and if you know better, you do better. So what I try to do is give deals, because that artist gonna go talk to another artist. He gonna realize at some point, and you got this, I didn't get that. And when the artist come to you and tell you that, it's too late. You already like, man, you shitted me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just big on karma, man. I ain't never been no thief. I ain't never really rocked like that. It's just like, the term street dude and you from the streets in the hood, sometimes it's misconstrued that you got to do ignorant street shit. You know what I mean? And that ain't what I do. I think the contract is like a marriage. So if, I'm cheating and I expect you not to cheat, then that's not a good marriage. You got what I mean?
Right.
So the contract is got to be a trust situation, because you can sign with a lot of different labels. You trusted me though to build your career. They help you build your career as being a superstar. So I just take that serious, man. I don't play with that.
All right. So speaking on Yo Gotti and CMG, weren't you like your relationship with them is really tight? Like, weren't you a part of?
No doubt, it was. My son got it. That son got it at Epic.
Right.
You know, but after just working with him for years and you know, just helping him with his label, doing all his marketing promotions, you know, Gotti's my guy. You know, probably one of the best artists I've ever worked with before. Just because he's so smart, you know what I mean? Like he absorbs, and the one thing I really took back from him, because I was all over the world and breaking artists from all over the world, he didn't want to really make me say, I got to go back to the crib and break artists from my crib before I get out of the business. Because Gotti wouldn't sign an artist that wasn't from Memphis, you know? And he stood on that. Of course, you can do it now. At some point, you can do whatever, you know, but to me, you know, I only have 2 artists now from Carolina. I have Shordie Scott, who's from Atlanta, Lil Shordie Scott, and I have Dusty Stay True. Dusty's dad is from Carolina though, so he get a little pass. But he's from New Haven, Connecticut. So, you know, I venture out, but I wanted to make the imprint. So Gotti was the one, but I signed Gotti to Epic because I wanted him to be bigger, man. I wanted him to be like, we was doing the same clubs. I said, bro, until I get you on Jimmy Fallon, until we start doing some of those moves, until you can become a CEO, because as a CEO, you're gonna make more money than you ever made as an artist. And it's proven, you know, but at the time he was an artist, so it was hard for him to see it. But now we laugh about it. But yeah, Gotti was cool. I signed Cash Out at the label, cashing out. And then, you know, me and Future was close, man, broke Future with the label. And LA already knew Future from the whole Rico situation. But I knew the artist over there, man, Gotti was part of the closest, and we still close because he's doing a great job with his label.
Did you imagine that Yo Gotti would have the amount of success that he's amassed to this date back then?
110%. Like I say, he's super smart. Gotti asked you a question like, did no artist ever ask? You know, I still say to this day, you know, probably my most artist that I remember the most is probably Tank at Blackground. Nobody worked like Tank, especially for R&B dude. Me and Tank seen the whole world together. You know what I mean? That's my guy. Gotti, and of course, Baby. And I say Baby not to be biased, because Baby's just a different kind of dude. Super loyal. We never had any problems, man. Never had an argument over 1 red cent. Never, you know, let our egos get the best of us, you know, and we keep it real. But to answer your question about Gotti, is that everybody I name is still successful and still kind of, they're like more like Master P type situations. Because Master P is somebody I respect the most. I don't think he can get his credit. I never got close to him, but Gotti's like a Master P, to where, like, you know, he was doing real estate and doing shit, you know, doing shit people wasn't doing back in the days. He was doing stuff for his community. So I think that he would ask you a question about media base and, you know, which is the radio format to detect who's playing your songs, to show him how to read media base. He would absorb. No artist ever asked me about that, you know. So he was already like preparing himself to be a CEO, super smart. You know, for Memphis, like, man, these cats talk slow. I thought we talk slow in the South. But you got to understand, that's their demeanor. But it's like a New York cat. They take people in the South talking slow. It's like we slow. We dumb, but he's probably one of the most intelligent cats I've seen. That's why everything he's doing right now, listen, man, you know, I commend him, bro. He killing it. And I'm not even surprised, bro, because he's been that guy for a minute.
Yeah, he's been definitely killing it, and it's taking it up to a whole other level.
Hell yeah.
So how did you discover DaBaby? How did you find him?
Shit. Actually, man, you know, Carter was actually one of the bigger rappers in Charlotte that never really made it, never really got a chance to really take off, because he was kind of before the city. And he's more of like a, not conscious, but more like a message artist. You know, in a land of dope guns, BBLs. You know what I mean? So sometimes I think that if you don't hit the timing right, it's just gonna be different for you. You know, but he was the first artist in Charlotte. Because Carolina people are real set in their ways, to the point of, they don't want to help you unless they get on first. You know what I mean? And I'm sure a lot of cities are the same. So Carter was like, I'm gonna help you, I want to help you with your label. He kept telling me to start a label. The marketing company was killing it. I'm like, nah, man, I ain't got time to start no damn label. I'm too busy right now. You know, because I wanted to start a label, and that's why I got a job at Epic, but I was like, I still feel like it was certain things I wanted to do, and time-wise, I just didn't have the time. So eventually, he came up and said, I'll start a label if you gonna help. You know what I mean? You're an artist. You got a lot to offer to a lot of the artists. I've never been an artist, so I can't talk about being an artist. I can talk about everything else, how to break artists, but I can't talk about being an artist. So DaBaby wasn't the first artist that I signed. I signed this like 18-year-old white girl, Blacc Zacc, high school. You know, why the fuck I did it, I don't know. I don't know why I tried to sign some pop shit. I think I was just like, man, I'm about to start a label, I'm gonna show them, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I've been breaking hip hop my whole life, you know, and it's not that I was trying to get away from hip hop, it's that I wanted to show, sometimes you gotta be careful with your mind. Like I said, I'm a true Gemini, bro. I'm always gonna try to like push the envelope and do something I've never done before. And I didn't wanna be known as the urban label. You got what I mean? I wanted you to respect me like as a Motown and Def Jam and everything else, even though they had more urban artists. They went pop, and most of their music is sampled, the whole nine. Motown was doing pop back then, really though. End of the day, it just wasn't calling it pop. You got me? So, long story short, Carter was, then I was one day, and he's like, man, you know, I had seen Baby moving around the city, just doing shit, street team wise, old school shit, putting posters up, flyers up. And then Carter had brought him to me and asked me if I knew who he was. And Carter actually ended up calling him, but I had to see him in the city, just moving. So when I met with him, I didn't know him. I just liked the way he was moving. I watched him come in the club with 20, 30 guys, all dressed, you know, with Baby's logo. And the smallest guy in the circle was telling everybody what to do. And in the presence, it was like a BMF situation. You got what I mean? So the presence was to me was big, because it was just crazy to see somebody who just had that kind of power and that mindset. So at that point, it wasn't about music to me. It was about, damn, mentally, that dude's a leader. You got me? So when I met with him, and I met him, I heard the music. You know, the music wasn't where it's at now, but it was good enough for me to be like, okay, I can put that mind, I can get the music better. I know how to get the music right, you know what I mean? And he was doing videos, and the video shit, what he was doing, man, I was like, damn, old school, new school, we collide that, because your videos can bring my music vision to life, got the connections, we're gonna make it happen. And in Charlotte, I needed somebody that was my first artist to not be fearful of anything. You don't give a shit, I don't give a shit, bro. We both fearless. We both like, listen, it don't work, we're gonna do something else. We're gonna try again. Everybody ain't good at that. Some people, they bad decisions or they mistakes or the things that don't work, it's the death of them. You know what I mean? So I needed a leader that was going to quit when I knew when the going got tough, and he never quit. To this day, I never seen him down, never seen him like doubting himself. That confidence for an artist is everything, you know. So, you know, and listen, man, I just met him and as soon as I met him, I knew what it was. I was like, okay, this kid's a star.
Yeah, definitely a hard-working cat.
Yeah, he's a star.
Yeah, that's what's up. So then, what like your other artists on the label, like how have you gone about choosing other artists to be on the label? I heard you earlier saying that you wanted to break somebody that was, you know, in North Carolina. I feel like I saw in another interview you mentioned that you wanted all of your artists to be from North Carolina. Like,
well, Carolinas, definitely. Carolinas, because, but I've already done that though.
Right.
I wanted all the artists to be from, I wasn't gonna sign an artist at that time unless you were from Carolina.
Gotcha.
But I mean, the label's over 7 years old, you know, but we're still pretty much young. We haven't even hit our 10 year yet, you know what I mean? So I wasn't gonna sign any artist that wasn't from the Carolinas,
right,
until I broke one from the Carolinas,
gotcha,
until I made sure that I've signed some from different areas, and I've done that. So now I can venture out, but to me, I'm biased. You from Carolina and you hot, I'm definitely gonna give you a look, because that's no different than what LA and what New York did and what everybody else did, and Miami did, you know, and Atlanta did. You know, it was hard to get a deal from somewhere else, man. You know, so to me, I'm doing the same shit Atlanta did. I'm doing the same thing other cities did, where like I'm focused on my craft. What Gotti did in Memphis, you know what I mean? What Jack Harlow is doing now in Louisville, Kentucky. You know, with ESTG now. So it's a movement. So to me, man, you know, trying to go somewhere else and duplicate what's already been done, that's not exciting to me. Right. It don't intrigue me at all. You know, I'm gonna take the challenge. I ain't gonna try to find the easy way out. I don't skip steps. Every time I didn't try to skip a step, I didn't got my hand smacked. Nah, I don't do that, you know? So I'm cool with the hard work, but I think now that I've signed most of my artists from Carolina, now I just gotta finish breaking them. I gotta show the world, because the thing about Carolina, people don't realize, like I had to paint the picture. You got rappers that can flow like Baby, that ain't nobody touching them. You got J. Cole, it's a whole nother type of rapper that ain't nobody touching them. You got a Petey Pablo that can do whatever. Right. We was always known for R&B, Anthony Hamilton, Jodeci, Fantasia, but hip hop was always a void for us. We could never get it right, and nobody from outside could come in and figure out the market. You got me? So, because you might have a cat like, you know, Zacc, who sound down south, but then you have somebody, you know, the youngin, a Big Mally, and you got somebody that can sound like they're from straight up top, or the Midwest. It's just, I get intrigued by that. None of my artists are the same. Everybody is totally different from the other.
Yeah. Man, shout out Blacc Zacc too. I heard you mention him.
Oh, Zacc's crazy.
Yeah,
Zacc's crazy.
Yeah, man. Can you tell us about some of the other artists on the label?
No doubt. You know, of course, we got Baby, a superstar. We got Toosii. I signed Toosii over 3 years ago. And Toosii from Syracuse, New York, originally moved to Raleigh. You know, he's like 9, 10 years old. You know, his manager Flip brought him to me. Actually, I think I met his mom first. You know what I'm saying? Through somebody else. You know, I got with his manager. But it's crazy because people think Toosii is like R&B and melodic now. Toosii can rap with the best of them. I met Toosii rapping in the car doing freestyles. You know, he did this thing called Toosii Tuesdays. That was crazy, bro. I'm trying to get him to do them again, but he like, I don't know. But, you know, New York meets down south is what he is. Like, he can come and spit with the best of them. And if you see him in the studio, he makes it so easy. Like, it's effortless. You know what I mean? So I think for him, man, it was just like, he went melodic, but I signed him over 3.5 years ago, and just the fact that he changed and we still doing our thing is what I let artists do. You know what I mean? Zacc, I signed Zacc around the same time I signed Baby. Zacc had a feature with Dolph, actually. And he called me to work the record, the marketing side. His boy Beezy, who's like Zacc's right-hand man. Beezy called me, I got cool with Beezy. I made him verse, and they're still together to this day. And I worked the song. I said, man, I really rock what you're doing. He was really on his Master P, bro. He was really like the real trapper. You know what I mean? Like, run South Carolina from Columbia. He's the first artist I signed from Columbia. I wanted to have Baby and Zacc at the same time. A big artist from North Carolina, a big artist from South Carolina at the same time, and really tie the Carolinas all the way in together. Because I couldn't break North Carolina without breaking South Carolina. You know what I mean? To me, I feel like the movement is bigger if I do that. You know, so Zacc has been with me from day one, and you know, he got a project coming. He's crazy. I got Big Mally. Big Mally's from Henderson, North Carolina, female. Signed her because can't nobody rap like her, bro. And she just spitting fire. And she ain't showing her body. She's 19 years old, and I'll put anybody against her. I ain't even showcase freestyling with her yet and put on flex or whatever, but I'm gonna do it because just the way she rap. But she, you know, she was just the raw talent developing. So I'm gonna drop her album probably on mid next month. So she's just fire to me. Tino Season is another artist outside of Charlotte from Gastonia, North Carolina. Tino is he got more like a Travis Scott, Uzi feel, but in his own vibe, you know, like comes from SoundCloud, and they can go somewhere crazy, but just just a different type. Super mature for a 17-year-old, bro. He just graduated high school. So, and of course, you know TiaCorine. And Tia's dope. Tia is the, you know, man, she's in the lane of Doja, Rico Nasty. You know, the new girl Doja, shout out to Doja, TDE. I see her they got, it's all kind of the feel, but Tia's different because Tia really from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, which is right by Greensboro, hour away. So everybody's from different places. She can go with the best of them. She can go pop. She can spit with them. She's Japanese, Black, and Native American. So culturally, she can kill a festival and do it the whole nine. And then we have Dusty Stay True here from New Haven. Him and Toosii kind of like the same as far as melodic, but can really rap too. He's kind of like on that field, but Dusty's crazy. Dusty came in through my guy Mayor, and we did a partnership. And of course, Shordie Scott, who I signed Shordie Scott, man, almost 2 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I signed him. I just rock with him. I just was online, and keep in mind, I signed most of the artists myself. Just me on the internet or in the streets, calling you myself, not an A&R, just calling you myself. Hey man, I rock with you. I think people appreciate that because they can get the CEO on the phone. You know what I mean? And Shordie was Ron Taylor on Play. He wasn't even Shordie Scott. He was a whole different artist, whole different name. Had a song going TikTok virally. He's so much of a big artist, bro. 729, and Ron Taylor Don't Play had a growly voice. Shordie Scott, high pitched voice, but everybody was trying to sign him off the single Cardigan. I wouldn't do the deal because I ain't finished writing the script yet. If I sign a deal and you a TikTok artist, that's what you're gonna be known as. You know what I mean? He's not a TikTok artist. He don't even have a TikTok account. But once I paint the picture and show you he really has substance, it can really rap, and really has, once you get past the voice and you realize, oh wow, the voice is dope, but he's dope. Now you're gonna see what it is. I'm gonna put this album out on 7/29. We got some shit. I'm an EP. We got some shit, bro. And then D Young, and of course, you just pretty much just got with him.
Yeah.
He just got with D Young, and he's my new one. His album dropped on 6/24.
Yeah.
You know, next to Blow. He just raw, man. He's between Pooh Shiesty, Lil Baby, if you ask me. He's just different. He's just raw, you know, but he got his own style. You know, I use comparison, but these artists got their own style. You know what I mean? Just so you can kind of find out a lane to put them in, but not, you know, attribute them to being like that person, though. You know what I mean? So, you know, we got a roster, man. We got a roster, bro. We gonna play with them. That's
what's up. Now, you guys are also doing this 7 albums in 7 weeks campaign.
That's been done before. Don't forget that part. That's been done before.
Yeah, never been done before. Like going hard, being aggressive with releasing these projects and these records. Like,
no doubt. I mean, 7 albums in 7 weeks, man. 7 on 7. That's what we call it. Once again, we just want to challenge ourselves. You know, we want to do things that labels never done before. You know, it's hard as hell trying to get albums cleared and producers cleared and make the deadlines on each and every one of them. We're putting them through foundation. We doing straight independent ourselves. You know what I mean? So the 7 artists are the 7 artists that don't have a major deal joint venture. You know, Zacc was on Interscope. Zacc's back independent with me now. The same with Tia, was going through Virgin, now she's going independent. But to me was to make sure that every album drop, you know, back to back, make it a whole movement, make it a whole imprint, and then I'm probably gonna do it again at the end of the year. You know, and then once Baby and Toosii come into play, it's 9 on 9. You know, so we just want to make sure that we just go crazy. And I'll announce each album the week of, just so you know what's coming. You really can dissect who it is. You really can dissect what we building. 'Cause I got to show you. I'm writing a script right now. You know what I mean? So it's important that you see it. Everybody's in the visual world, but the 707, you know, SMG, we always trying to lead the culture and do something different. Nobody never did it before. I don't think nobody ever did 3 albums in a row at one time. So I jumped out the window. I'm doing 7, and and I'm excited about it. And I have a Little John as well, and Zay the Goat, which is SCE, which is Carter's label, distributed through SCMG. So we're gonna put Little John out on the 7/8 too. So we ain't gonna play with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's what's up. What would you say is the most fulfilling moment of your career so far?
Oh man, fulfilling moment. You know what's crazy, man? I'm the guy that lets things that don't happen. Those are the best moments to me. Like from being at BET or Grammys, why we didn't win an award, but we was up nominated for a lot of awards, but we didn't win a Grammy. But it's like, even now, everybody probably thought we should have won it. And I don't get into accolades, and neither does Baby or whoever's in that moment. But sitting there realizing, like, damn, I broke this big ass artist, and this kid's worked so hard, and he deserves everything that he's got. And I'm just using him as an example. And we still got more work to do. You got what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that was a pivotal moment for me to let me know, like, damn, I can't get comfortable. Because the minute you get comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Because if we would have won a Grammy, my mentality may be a little bit different right now. Because I may be in the car with the Grammy, you know what I'm saying? Ride around with it, Yeah. So stuck in the moment. So sometimes it happens to let you know, like, don't get comfortable. You know what I mean? So it don't matter if you Jay-Z or Beyonce or whatever, don't get comfortable, man. So I think that was a pivotal moment because it showed me, like, we don't really control this. It's measured by votes. It's measured by people. It could be timing. It could be a lot of factors on what makes a superstar, a hit record, an accolade, an award. What makes my label take off and be the next big thing. What makes it not take off. I think that I've had a lot of great moments. I just don't live in the moments of what I've done already, what I did last summer. I live in the moments of what I got to do. I celebrate my moments on my own, my kids, but I don't bathe in them because I think it's dangerous when you bathe in them. But I do think we as black men, we really gotta take our time though. You know what I mean? And really, like, damn. But if I get that from my kids and my family, bro, I don't need an award for that.
Yeah.
Because I take being a father way more serious than being a CEO. So, but that's part of my pivotal moment.
Wow. So maybe that's the fulfilling moment then is everything, you've worked so hard over these years and, the fruits of the labor, have come and looking at your kids, maybe that is that fulfilling moment,
Nah, I think so. It is, and I just had a new kid too. I got a 3-month-old, Leona Rose, a new daughter. So I have 3 kids, Morgan, who's 19, Miles is 16, I just had a new baby. So to me, man, it's like, it's crazy because, I'm divorced now, and I'm entering different parts of life now. But trying to find new things to motivate you, like, wow, I'm motivated all over again, But I also think that it's instrumental that you do take your W's though, and you spend your time like, damn, because we accomplished something that's never been done before.
Right.
Everybody been trying to break somebody from the Carolinas forever. I didn't hear that from all OGs. 50 the Buster, Diddy, everybody didn't say that, So I think that we have a lot of moments, man, but to me, I think that sometimes the moments that I cherish aren't the moments that society cherish, you know what I mean? But that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah, I can dig that though. Appreciating sometimes the smaller things in life are like the biggest things in life, for real.
And it keeps you focused. It keeps you focused because, I can get out here and be like, oh wow, man, I can show cars and houses and do all that stuff. I can play the big boys all day. I can show jets, I can show all that, but they ain't my character, bro.
Right.
I come from a humble background, and there's nothing wrong with it. That's what you do. That's what you do. That's hip hop, you know. But I just feel like, you know, I got to show people different sides, and I'm older now, man. So it ain't really nothing that I really want when it comes to materialistic stuff. You know what I mean? My goal is power in certain things that are important to me. I come from nothing. So at the end of the day, what I got billions or millions or nothing. I'm act the same way. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna freak out. Oh God, you know. Everybody can't do that though.
Wow, yeah.
Some folks they lose it, man. They gonna off themselves. You know. It's gonna be bad. You know. So I just keep my circle tight, man, and I still want to make sure everybody around me are in place.
Yeah.
So when I say, all right, cool, I'm peace, because I'm Jordan, I'm walking away from it myself. Right. I'm not going, you ain't walking away from me, I'm walking away from this, you know, at the top. You know, but I think you only can do that, because right now you're really doing it, I'm really doing it for everybody else. Yeah. Really ain't really even doing it for me no more. You know, I set my life up to do it for everybody else, gotta be good, so your money can make babies, you know what I mean? So that's what we're doing right now.
Coming up, and even maybe today, do you have any mentors in the game? And then how would you say important it is to have mentors when you're on
Super
the come
important.
up?
Like I said, Jack Gordon, you know, rest in peace to him, that owns Shazada Music, the record store I had. I mean, you gotta think, bro, my mom and dad broke up when I was 6 years old. You know, he was in Miami, you know, she was out here, actually 4 years old. My mom been married to my stepdad for a while, but even though, you know, when you don't grow up with your real dad, it's a void. So anybody that can show somebody else's kid or raise somebody else's kid, and I'm not saying he raised me, that's disrespectful to my stepdad, he did a good job. But at the end of the day, anybody that can show you love and show you a different way and instill something in you, because he never had a son, that's big, what he did later, but that's big because it sets you in a way where, damn, this ain't even my dad doing this. That's more powerful than your dad doing it though, you know what I mean? So, cause this guy is taking time out. So Jack Gordon is a mentor, but like I say, Paris Johnson gave me my first job, you know, and I got a lot of respect for Paris, you know. Benny Pugh gave me the job at Epic and the job at Def Jam. You know, I talked to LA on Father's Day, you know, and just told me Happy Father's Day, and we talked about some stuff, you know, just via like text. But I mean, I think that you have different mentors and different people that you look up to as far as like how they did it and what they did. But you know, man, I also got mentors that, you know, the dude that was in the neighborhood that wasn't selling dope, that was just had 7 stores and cleaners, and damn, this dude got 7 dry cleaners in the neighborhood, and he for 30 years. Shit, I give him, I'm like, how you do that? You know what I mean? Regardless of what you did before you got it, you know, like I'm more intrigued by that type of shit. Because I mean, like, I feel like anybody can get a bag, you know? But you ain't really doing nothing to me. That's like a cheat code. You know what I mean? And that's not the diss and say I'm perfect. You know, that's just a diss to be like, what's intriguing to me and what you do is 2 different things. Right. When you can maneuver in a way where people don't expect you to win and win, I take that and like, oh, that's okay. Yeah. That's a real mentor, you know?
Yeah, no, that's real. What message would you give to upcoming and aspiring managers, you know, label heads, aspiring moguls? What type of game would you share with them as they're on their come up, you know?
Oh, man. Shit, I think at the end of the day, man, it's like, what I would tell them, you know, a lot of managers, a lot of labels, man, is just keep it real, bro. Like a lot of times, as a manager, you shouldn't try to be an artist. You know, as a CEO, you gotta be the CEO. You know, it's like a cool ass parent. I got a cool ass mom, but I respect her. Even though we friends, I don't play with her, you know what I mean? I still respect her. I think that a lot of times that, you know, as a manager, you know, I don't smoke with my artists. I ain't be drinking like that with my artists, because at the end of the day, they got their own friends. It's a certain type of respect that they've got to see to really respect what you do, because you sign a contract, you sign their career, you know. So I think I would tell managers, like, keep in mind this is a business. This ain't nothing. This ain't. You out there, we in the strip club, we doing all this wild shit together, and everything look like it's all fun and games, but it's just a business.
Yeah.
And one thing about artists, they watch. They watch if you get more girls than them. They watching if you smoking and drinking more than them. No matter how, they watch everything. So you be thinking that you cool, but they really laughing at you like, wow, man, this dude is drunker than me. Negotiate my contract. It don't matter how drunk and how I am, because I can do what I want to do. I'm an artist. So, you know, I think that I would tell them first to keep the business and the personal life separated. But if you're gonna go all out, all right, guys, good night. I'm going to hang out with my friends and do some crazy shit myself, right? You know, that's what I do. I give it to y'all later.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm into, I'm gonna go do it on my own, you know? But I think that I would tell them that. I would also tell them, man, that like, it's okay to give the artist a little bit more. It's okay to like put certain things in your contract that may lean, you know, as a fair game to the artist. You know, of course the labels gotta be labels that make their money. You know, I ain't never gonna tell you that, because we put a lot of time and investments into these artists. But I think that you know, the main thing I would say was I see a lot of managers and CEOs not keeping the business the whole way, even with the labels, even with the JVs. It's just business. Because you know, the minute your artist ain't hot no more, you're gonna have a hard time getting everybody on the phone and getting everything you wanted to get before. Them budget's gonna close up the whole nine. So I'm careful about who I go in business with, because unless you really like the artist and love the artist, I won't do the deal based on you liking me. I'm gonna do the deal based on you liking the artist, and that's why I like being free. And I'm gonna do the deal based off of what fits. If it fits the criteria, and I feel like, you know, you ain't gonna run when it's going to get tough, because I know what I signed up for. I signed up, if you go to jail, I'm coming to get you out. You know what I mean? If you waste all your money, I'm probably gonna bail you out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying I'm gonna go broke messing with you now if you ain't getting the picture, because now you talking to everybody. But at the end of the day, I know what I signed up for. So people call me all the time and ask me about certain things. You know, I'm like, nah, I know what I signed up for. This ain't Bank of America.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, we corporate, but we ain't corporate. You know, so I think you got to know what you're signing up for, because this business comes with a lot. And you know, it's the most dangerous place in the world for rappers right now.
Yeah.
You know, so it ain't even sweet no more out here. In the streets is the streets.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's really the best advice that I can give you, though, is keep the business intact.
Okay, word.
Yeah.
Arnold, you got any shout outs, any final thoughts, anything that you'd like to share?
Nah, no doubt. We're off the porch with it. You know, to me, it's shouting out what we got going on from South Coast Music Group, SCMG. I think that you know, we got films, movies, studio facilities coming, you know, merch, clothing lines, real estate, you know, which we already been doing forever. SCMG International is what I want to talk about the most, though. We're starting SCMG International to have an office in Miami, and then we'll obviously have the SCMG proper US in Charlotte, where we're going to integrate, you know, a Latin artist, a UK artist, Nigerian artist, and it's like we're starting with Baby and DeVito. You know, all of my artists will have, you know, integrated songs with certain artists of different countries, and I think that's important, because anybody really did that right. When you put together a Nigerian kid with a kid from Puerto Rico, that's like, wow, that ain't supposed to happen. Right. So to me, you know, I don't want to get too much of the salsa way, but SMG International is important to me, because just like the cultures that I've been around and back and forth, you know, from the crib to Charlotte, I think it's important that that my label was started that way, so we can integrate how I want to integrate. So look for that to launch real soon.
Okay. All right, word. Man, Arnold, appreciate you jumping off the porch with us, bro.
No doubt. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm